Hi, I'm Daniel Mullany from SITEK Process Solutions, and today we're going to be talking about troubleshooting your system when your nitrogen heater is not working. So you're having nitrogen flow to the chamber, but your heater's not working. First, we're going to dive in and take a look at how to do it on the SLIC device controller, and then we're going to actually take a look at some of the components themselves. Okay, so we have this chamber here which came up with an N2 heater alarm. When you are using a 101 controller, you're actually not going to get an alarm. You have to have somebody just notice that it was cold nitrogen blowing, which is one of the big drawbacks of that style system. On our system, we'd actually have that alarm that occurred. So we're going to come into manual mode and we're going to validate this problem. So we're going to come to our actuator screen and we're going to try to turn on the N2 heater. And what happens? We see that we can hear the nitrogen blowing, but we have no current consumption at all. So that's really our problem right here. When there's no current consumption, that means we know the heater's not turning on, but we can hear that there's nitrogen flow, and we can also validate that by opening the process chamber and feeling the nitrogen blowing. So now we're going to go take a look at how to troubleshoot this. Okay, and so here we are in front of an 8300S spin rinse dryer. What I want to do is show the various components that could have failed. We have mostly 4 components that could have failed and sort of a 5th if you count the cabling being disconnected. So you always want to make sure that you check that your cabling is all properly fastened on your system before going into too much troubleshooting. But of the 4 failures, 2 of them are common and 2 are more uncommon. The 2 common ones are going to be, first, this 8 psi pressure switch failing. And so if we want to test this out, what we can do is remove the leads from the bottom, jumper them together, and then if our problem goes away, you know that the pressure switch has failed. This is a common part that you should have in inventory already, and if you don't, we can get that on order and actually overnight it to you same day if that's what you need to get your tool back up and running. The second common cause would be a problem with the controller. Usually that could be a failed relay, but it can also be damage to the board, the traces, or anything else, especially on older systems. And if that's the case, what you want to do is swap controllers and see if the problem stays with your head assembly or if it follows your controller to another chamber. Obviously, if it follows your controller, then what you can do is send that into SITEK for a repair, and we have a turnaround of normally a couple weeks on that. The 2 uncommon causes are going to be, first, our overtemp switch right here failing. Typically, it won't have failed. What it'll have done is actually opened once and then got stuck open. So that would mean that you actually had some kind of overtemp condition on here, and that's something you'll have to investigate further into as well to understand what caused our overtemp condition in the first place. Typically, that's going to be a flow issue because you didn't have enough flow, and that allowed the heater to get to that overtemp position. The second uncommon cause is going to be the actual N2 heater itself failing. In general, heaters are fairly robust. You don't have a lot of problems with the actual heaters themselves. Normally, it's the sensors associated with them, and so that's why that's uncommon. However, if you do find that your heater's failed, when you remove it, you're going to see that it's damaged. At that moment, we want to investigate further to see if there's going to be any particle problems with our system, because when that N2 heater actually damages like that, then there's a chance that inside the manifold we have particle contamination or other issues. If that's the case, those are all still common services for us, and we can help you electropolish or replace your manifold and get your tool back into running condition quickly. So thanks for taking a look at our troubleshooting on the N2 heater, and good luck with your systems.